Yes, people, yes, people, yes, people. Now, before we jump into this video, I need you to do me a massive, massive favor, and that's like this video, subscribe to this channel, and click the bell so you get all updates on our channel. And if you want
You,
to comment while you're there, do it.
the thing is, you all know why you're here watching this video. It's clear in the title. Football is coming home. So do us a favor, like this video, subscribe to We Talk Football, and that will contribute to football actually coming home this Sunday.
I couldn't have put it better myself. You've articulated yourself so well there, Quaker Afari.
Thank you.
But England are through to the final of Euro 2020, the first international final for England in what, 50 odd years. Is football coming home, Quaker?
It looks like it. It's on its way. It's on its way. It's in transit. Yesterday was incredible. I was working the game, so I watched it in a kind of different way to I watched the previous games, but it didn't take away from the feeling of that roller coaster emotion that you get when you watch England in the semi-final of the tournament. We've only experienced two of them in our lifetime that we can remember. We don't really remember Euro '96, and the only other one being the World Cup in 2018. Where we unfortunately went up to Croatia. This one had a different feel to it. There was expectation in this one. We were expected to beat the Danes. They put up a tough showing, and if we can refer back to our previous video where we were previewing the game, I think I did call a 2-1 England win in extra time. I do think I've called a Harry Kane goal as well. I think if you go back to our previous video, I called 3 goals in the next 2 games for Harry Kane, and the man just delivered. The whole team delivered. We were incredible. And it's the kind of performance that you need. You don't go through a whole tournament without adversity. You have to kind of overcome something. We saw Italy, who we were facing on Sunday, had to overcome it in their tie against Austria, where they went to extra time and they beat them there. And then they had to beat Spain on penalties. So the fact that we had to overcome this, go to extra time, really kind of grind out a result, only stands us in good stead for the final, because we know that when our backs are to the wall, we can actually come good when we need to. So yeah, man, I'm absolutely buzzing with the result.
Yeah, it was just a great performance all around, really. I know you said that Denmark provided a stern opposition, and it was a great game, especially for the neutral. It was a bit of a nail biter at times, but generally, again, I felt confident the entire time. Even when we went 1-0 down, I was watching it with the boys, and I remember the ball was set up for a free kick, and I said, "Boys, if this goes in, it's going to be the first free kick of the tournament." It nestles. You can argue that Jordan Pickford probably should have saved it, but outside of that, I can't remember too many chances or too many. Well, yeah, many opportunities for them to really trouble us throughout the entire game. I know they had a few pop shots from the edge of the box, and Dalberg looked lively, but I think England controlled the game in large portions and scored when they needed to. The one thing I would say though is we did get fortunate in extra time. I think with the penalty, maybe the players were in the ref's head, because there was the challenge on Harry Kane in like the 70 odd minute that was that could have gone either way. I think it got given as a free kick for Denmark, but in another game it might have been given as a penalty. So maybe the ref had that in the back of his mind when he gave the one against Raheem Sterling. But other than that, yeah, I just feel like England looked comfortable. They looked assured. They looked confident. And again, it looks like, like we've drawn back and spoken about so many times, it looked like so many of the players were playing without fear, because, me and you, we're 28 years old, really, and we don't remember the pain of 1996. So when you've got Bukayo Saka, who's 18, 19 years old, like wasn't alive. Do you know what I mean? Half the players that were starting weren't alive. They have no reason to be fearful of a semi-final. And, they play with pressure week in, week out. They deal with the pressures of social media. And it's just apparent that Gareth Southgate, he's been there, done that. He went through the pain and he's instilled a team spirit in this team. So I think football's coming home. Like I've been saying for a while, I think we'll beat Italy. I really do think we'll beat Italy. I think in terms of the teams that are matched up against each other, I think they're two very, very pragmatic sides. I think the reason both teams have been so strong are for very similar reasons. Italy have been very resound and very resolute at the back. They've essentially won games from being defensively astute, and I feel like England are following the same kind of path. So it'll be interesting to see how the teams match each other up with two very pragmatic styles, and it's going to be an interesting one, Quaker. It's going to be an interesting one.
If I just hark back to a point that you made in terms of like the soft penalty. Jose Mourinho came on Talksport literally straight after the game and said that you don't want to hear our opinion, or we don't want to hear his opinion on the game because he doesn't think it was a penalty. It wasn't a penalty. And I understand that there was actually contact, but it might be soft. But I don't want to hear about England getting lucky because of a penalty, because I can remember World Cup 98 where Sol Campbell had a goal disallowed against Argentina, or like in that same game where that soft, if you want to talk about soft, that soft red card that Dave Beckham got for the foul of Diego Simeone. Or
Yeah.
you go to 2004 where Sol Campbell gets a goal disallowed against Portugal.
History is littered with, light
Bro,
challenges.
2010 where like Frank Lampard's goal, which literally brings in goal line technology. England have got unlucky in so many tournaments. So like, I don't want to hear about England being lucky because, like you said, that Harry Kane one was a penalty, and the
Yeah.
Raheem Sterling one, there was contact. And if you're moving at that speed, you're going to go down. And like, maybe if it's given against you, you're fuming, but it wasn't. And so like, no one needs to hang the coattails on that, because we deserve to go through, and luck is luck.
Oh yeah, yeah. Again, like you know what I'm like. I don't believe in luck necessarily. I think you create your own luck, and Raheem Sterling put himself in that position to, and manipulated his body in such a way that where the defender made contact, it gave the referee no choice. But I don't think, like I was saying, the challenge on Harry Kane 30 or 40 minutes earlier would have helped the referee. I feel like that might have been in the back of the referee's mind. He's probably gone in at full time, or he's seen a replay of it and thought, oh, could have given that. And you don't know if the players have been in his ear, like Declan Rice or Jordan Henderson, who was on at the time, or you don't know who's been in his ear, and that could have got into the refs thinking. The one thing I will say though, it was soft, but ultimately in the laws of football, in the current game, it's a penalty, and it's more clumsiness from the Denmark player and cleverness by Raheem Sterling. And I feel like we should speak a little bit about Raheem Sterling. Raheem Sterling, the boy from Brent. I feel like that phrase has really come into fruition over the last few weeks. I feel like the media are really running with it. Great performance from Raheem Sterling. It baffles me how he didn't get a man of the match. Fair play to Harry Kane, of course, but I think Raheem Sterling was just outstanding last night. There were a few occasions again where he ran with the blinkers on, but largely throughout the game, he was just a thorn in the Denmark side, and I I can't give high enough praise to Raheem Sterling.
Yeah, no, he was incredible from that. Yeah, from the first minute to the last minute, he was a threat. And the only thing missing from his performance was a goal. I know a lot of commentators would want to rewind the own goal that Denmark scored, because a lot of them were saying Raheem Sterling, they had all their lines written out, and for us to look at the replay and see it was an own goal from Kajir. I know a lot of commentators are a little bit red-faced, but regardless of that, Raheem Sterling had an incredible game. He was the live wire. He was the spark. Everything kind of flowed through him. And yeah, man, like, what more can you say about Raheem Sterling? He is goated. Like, I think he holds a similar place within culture and within football to someone like Ian Wright, but just with more trophies and more success and more pressure. I think that speaks to his monster mentality. Like, Raheem Sterling will not be denied. And he wasn't going to be denied last night. And hopefully he's not going to be denied on Sunday. And the narrative that surrounds Raheem Sterling in terms of where he's come from, what the media put out about him, where he is now, where he stands in terms of social issues. He's a special player and a special man.
Yeah,
he deserves all the flowers in the world.
100%. There are some footballers that are up there as role models, and I question why. But that's one person I'll never question. I think Raheem Sterling is just an incredible human, let alone football player. There's a reason he's got an MBE for his services. For breaking down social issues like racism in football. And just hats off to him. It's amazing to see someone doing amazing things on the pitch and off the pitch. But speaking about more antics on the pitch, of course, there are a few other players that I just really want to shout out. I thought Luke Shaw last night, again, I feel like throughout the entirety of this performance, to go from being like not even included in the squad for a couple of years, to coming into this tournament and now being arguably one of our most important players. I feel like throughout numerous occasions last night, I know he gave the free kick away that led to the goal, of course, but I think other than that, I think he was incredible. He was so resolute. He was on numerous occasions yesterday when we're trying to find that second goal, he's driving down the pitch, trying to make things happen, and it's just amazing to see. I feel like there wasn't a bad performance for England last night, but there's just a few people I'd like to shout out.
Yes, likewise. It wasn't necessarily his best performance, but I was looking at it. I was talking to somebody at work about it, and the fact that he's getting selected for England at this age, it shows how good Bukayo Saka is. Because if you run through this whole England team, like maybe apart from Jordan Pickford, all of them had like outstanding seasons at club levels. Look at the whole back four. You've got John Stones and Kyle Walker, who won the league and ran away with it and had outstanding individual seasons. Look at Luke Shaw and Harry Maguire, who had good seasons for Manchester United to finish second. Luke Shaw had the season of his life. Midfield, Rice and Phillips had seasons of their life. And up front, you have Harry Kane, who's Harry Kane, and Raheem Sterling, who's Raheem Sterling. But the fact that Bukayo Saka, off the back of playing for Arsenal, who have struggled this season, and not saying that Mikel Arteta's not a great manager, but he's not necessarily had the best coaching. And for him to be plopped into an England team in the semi-final of the Euros and performs, he wasn't his best performance, but he didn't look out of place and he created the first goal. Credit to Bukayo Saka, because he's going to go on to be a very, very special player. He's carried Arsenal this season. He's already an established England player, and it's so exciting to see what the future holds for him, because he's in a team full of players who've had incredible seasons, and he doesn't. The level that he's playing at is absolutely incredible.
Most definitely, and that's suggestive to just not Bukayo Saka. You know, you look at our England side in general. You know, as a squad, you know, and the lifespan of this team. You know, if they go on to win this Euros, you know, like who's to say that they couldn't create a dynasty? I know I might be, it might be noise if you know what I mean. If we go and lose to Italy, it might all be, you know, hyperbole or whatever. But you know, the lifespan of this team. You look at some of the players on that pitch. You know, they could play for another 8 to 10 years. Do you know what I mean? Like at the top level, people like Bukayo Saka, you know, he'll be Raheem Sterling. It's similar to Raheem Sterling's age in 10 years. You know, it's
Yeah.
you know, like Jude Bellingham on the bench. You know, there's so many players like that in our squad. It's such an exciting time to be an England fan, and yeah, it's coming home, Quaker. I guarantee you, mate. I guarantee you. I'll pull out a Charles Barkley, guaranteed.
Yeah, mate, that's getting clipped off if we don't. But I hope so, mate. I do hope so. And the way things are going and the way the squad has been playing, I would not be surprised if we are all jubilating at around about 10 o'clock on Sunday evening.
Yeah, should we go into that game now, or do you want to do another video later in the week?
Let's save it.
We'll save it, guys. See there you go. There's your insight to subscribe and press the bell and all that, so you can watch out for that video coming out probably in a few days. But in the meantime, me and Kwaku are going to, you know, enjoy and bask in the glory of our first our first international final in our lifetime, really. So in the meantime, Kwaku, where can they find us?
So you can find us on YouTube, like we said at the beginning of the video. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to We Talk Football Podcast. You can find us on Instagram at We Talk Football Podcast, on Twitter at WTF Podcast 90. And yeah, like Jamie said, we'll be back with more videos very, very soon.
Sick, guys. Catch you next time.